The DJI Action 5 Pro is here, and so I know a lot of people are very keen to see how it stacks up against the Insta360 Ace Pro, which is also another great action camera for vlogging. So in this video, I want to show you exactly what sets the two apart and what would make you want to pick up one over the other. How does the video quality compare? Are there lots of features that differ from each other? And how is the audio quality across the two? Let's find out. So it is overcast, the sun keeps coming in and out of the clouds, but it's mainly overcast. But this is what the footage is looking like. Which one is which? So this is a little thing that I like to do, which can help to try and remove any bias when you're trying to compare the footage. So this clip was shot on both cameras. I'm not going to tell you which camera is which. I want you to tell me in the comments if you can see a difference at all and which one you prefer the look of. And I'll let you know at the end of the video which clip came from which camera. But yeah, without knowing which is which one are you leaning more towards? In the meantime, I'm going to go through several notable differences between the Action 5 Pro and the Insta360 Ace Pro, and it'll just give you an idea of which one you might want to pick up if you're vlogging. So bear in mind that this isn't for crazy action sports, this is for just using it every day in a vlogging situation. But there are also a few similarities between the two cameras, one being the same sensor size at 1/1.3 inches. And honestly, the quality of the footage, I think, is quite similar in a lot of situations, but with a few points that I do want to raise. So I'll come back onto that because I also want to go through and show you low light footage because that is quite an interesting one. But as well as sensor size, they both shoot up to 4K 120, which is great for slow motion, but the Ace Pro does shoot up to 8K 24. It's a bit of a bummer though because there's no other frame rate, so it's 8K 24. There's no 25 or 30 at least, so I didn't film it in this video because I didn't want to mess around with the timeline and the frame rates because it just wouldn't have been an accurate representation of that footage. But yeah, they're also both waterproof, so they're perfect for if you go on holiday and if you want to go swimming or if you are walking around in the snow or it starts raining, so perfect for that. But in terms of features that one has that the other one doesn't have, there are quite a lot. So let me start with the most obvious one, which is the screens. The Insta360 Ace Pro has a huge flip screen, which is really great for when you're vlogging and being able to see yourself just that much better. The Action 5 Pro also has a large touchscreen, but this is on the rear, so when you're vlogging, you'd only really be able to use the smaller front touchscreen, which still gives you a decent view, but it just doesn't really compare to the large view of the Ace Pro's flip screen. And that's the one thing about the Ace Pro that I really do like. When it comes to the batteries, they both have fast charging, but in terms of battery life, the Action 5 Pro was the best for sure. When I went out with each battery at 100%, after 16 minutes, the Action 5 Pro was on 91% and the Ace Pro was on 81%. So you're definitely going to get more filming time in a day from the Action 5 Pro. But either way, each camera has removable batteries and you can pick up spares as well. The Action 5 Pro, however, has the Adventure combo that gives you 3 batteries and a charging case, as well as an extension rod. And the Ace Pro has an endurance bundle and an adventure bundle, among other bundles. But these 2 bundles only come with an extra 2 batteries, unlike the Action Pro bundle, which comes with 3. So given the price as well, I do think that you're getting the better deal with the Action 5 Pro. But that's not all, because even though both cameras have a feature that allow you to connect the DJI Mic 2 transmitter via Bluetooth, only one of them actually sounds good enough to use, in my opinion, and that's the Action 5 Pro, which stands to reason because Insta360 can only really do so much in terms of the control that they have over hardware, so it's never going to be as clear as if you were to use a proprietary camera, so the DJI Action 5 Pro with the DJI mic. So non-proprietary cameras like the GoPro Hero 12 or the Hero 13 or the Insta360 X4 or even my phone, they just don't sound as good as if you were using the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro, which makes sense. So unfortunately, it does mean that the audio quality just doesn't sound very good when you're using the DJI Mic 2 with the Insta360 Ace Pro. Okay, so I've currently got both cameras recording their audio via Bluetooth. So the Ace Pro is using the DJI Mic 2 connected via Bluetooth, and this is what the audio sounds like in comparison to the Action 5 Pro, which has also the mic 2 connected via Bluetooth. You should be able to hear that the Ace Pro sounds pretty rubbish, which, you know, nothing to be done. But the Action 5 Pro should sound very good. So yeah, the Bluetooth audio from the Osmo Action 5 Pro does sound very good, and you're also getting that convenience factor as well, because it means that you don't actually have to attach a receiver, because you can just connect it via Bluetooth. Obviously, if you use any other mic, then you do need to attach a receiver. But regardless, with the Ace Pro, in order to get better audio, you are going to need to use an adapter connected to a receiver. So it's just one extra thing that you're going to have to do, and you're going to have to get. But in terms of the audio quality directly from the camera's inbuilt mics, both sound really good, but as I always say, it's just so much better to use an external mic so that you can get clear audio when you're in a busy environment, or if it's even windy with a light breeze. So this is what the audio sounds like from the Osmo Action 5 Pro, and then this is what the audio sounds like from the Insta360 Ace Pro. And I'm quite near a busy road at the moment, and they both have their wind noise reduction off. The Ace Pro has the direction audio mic. I can't remember what the setting's called, but it's direction lock. I think it's called direction lock. So it should be picking up my voice quite well. And the Osmo Action 5 Pro just has wind noise reduction off, so it's just in mono. This is what the audio sounds like from both of the cameras. In terms of the video quality, they're both great, honestly, and in that respect, I don't think you'd be disappointed with one over the other if you made your decision based on features and convenience above video quality. However, in some situations, there is better dynamic range from the Action 5 Pro, but it does come at the expense of clarity and a bit of a strange look to the footage at times. If you look specifically at the sky, then the Ace Pro looks more natural and maintains the details of the clouds, whereas the Action 5 Pro loses it. It's more noticeable in some shots over others though. And it doesn't really matter what colour profiles you go for, whether you shoot in the Action 5 Pro's normal colour profile versus the Ace Pro's standard colour profile, or the Action 5's D-Log M versus the Ace Pro's flat colour profile. But if you do know that you want to colour grade the footage, then the Action 5 Pro actually has a proper log colour profile, whereas the Ace Pro is just a flat profile. When looking at the low light footage, they both have dedicated low light video modes. The Action 5 Pro has Super Night and the Ace Pro has Pure Video. And both of these are really only intended for really low light situations, like at night time. However, the Action 5 Pro goes that step further, because Super Night is really only intended for situations where you don't even really have artificial light lighting the dark scene. And it's true, because if you do try and use it in situations where there are more artificial lights in the scene, then the footage can just look pretty stylized, so just using the normal video mode will do just fine. So in terms of the footage in low light without using the low light video mode, they both do a pretty phenomenal job. I haven't quite decided which one I prefer, because it kind of depends on the scene, but I have put together a longer low light comparison video where I'm just testing different scenes, so at night, in the forest, indoors, on an overcast day. So there's a link in the description to that video so that you can just check it out if you want to see it in a little bit more detail in different situations. What I will say though is that the Ace Pro in the normal video mode has a low light stabilization setting that you can switch on to counter the jitters that you normally get when you film in low light situations, and that does work really well. Even though I'm not 100% sure yet, I do think, just in terms of the look of the night footage, I might be leaning more towards the Action 5 Pro. But as I said, they both do well. But I don't know, which one do you prefer? Drop a comment and let people know. So like I said earlier, there are some features that one camera has that the other doesn't. So starting with the Action 5 Pro, it has a dedicated subject tracking mode. However, this is limited to 2.7K. And what it does is tries to keep the subject in the center of the frame, and it works pretty well to do that. You can use the subject tracking in an aspect ratio that outputs it to a vertical video or a horizontal video, so that is also quite useful. But the Ace Pro does have the edge here, because it has a free frame video mode, which allows you to shoot your footage and then just choose in the edit which aspect ratio you want to output. So that means that you can basically shoot once, get several aspect ratios out of that one clip, and it's perfect if you do cross-platform posting. So if you're posting on long form, posting on YouTube for long form, or posting on Instagram or TikTok for reels and that kind of thing, or X for posts, square posts. So very handy. So there are a few features that the Ace Pro has which could be things that tip the scale for you. So if you're still on the fence and you're still thinking you're not too sure, these could kind of help you decide. And the first one is having the ability to pause and resume videos. So pausing and recording a video is great if you start recording but then you want to switch to recording something completely different without actually breaking up that clip, so that you can just basically have one continuous video file. I can definitely think of situations where this is really handy for vlogging, and so I think this is a really nice feature to have. The other cool and useful feature is hand gestures. So if you want to put the camera down and walk away, you can start and stop recording via gestures. But I do think that the most useful case for this, for the gestures, is actually taking photos. So if you want to do a group shot or a wide solo shot, for example, you can set the camera down and then you don't have to rush to get back into position with a timer, as you can just use a gesture to take the photo when you're in position and you're ready. One of the things I forgot to mention about the Ace Pro is that whilst you're recording, you can actually take a photo. And with the Action 5 Pro, you can't do this. You can obviously take a still image from a video, but it's nice to be able to actually just touch an icon on the screen on here and then actually take a photo without having to stop the recording and take a photo. So that is a nice feature to have. And then this last feature is one that I use quite a lot on another camera. So when I start recording a clip, if I mess up and I know I'm not going to use that clip, then it's really useful to have. And it's a feature that the Osmo Pocket 3 has, but the Action 5 Pro doesn't have it, nor did the Action 4. And this is the ability to cancel recording whilst you're actually recording a clip. And the biggest benefit is that you don't have to keep going through your library and then going through and finding the clips that you don't want. You can just do it there and then, so it just keeps your whole gallery a little bit more organised, so you just know that the clips in there are the ones that you want when you come to edit. So before I forget, in the beginning I did a blind comparison, and camera 1 was the Insta360 Ace Pro and camera 2 was the DJI Osmo Action 5 Pro. Did you guess it right? So what do you think? Are you leaning more towards the Osmo Action 5 Pro or the Insta360 Ace Pro? Or maybe you're just kind of holding off because it is tech season after all, and there are still other cameras and pieces of tech that are potentially on their way. So it's well worth bearing that in mind. But if you are interested in seeing that longer video of the low light comparisons, then you can check out this video.